was reading the book of Samuel, First Samuel, from chapter 6, 7, and 8. Yeah, so I was just reading the history of the Israelites, and it's this time where the Philistines captured the Ark of God. But now there are a lot of things. Of course, the power of God, when the Ark of God was put together with the Philistines' God, like early in the morning, when they could come in the morning, they could find that their gods have fallen down and some have broken. Yeah, and the Philistines decided that enough is enough. Take this ark back, back to the Israelites, back to the center. We don't want it. And the leaders of the Philistines asked the Israelites, what can we do so that the hand of the gods of Israel cannot be very heavy on us? And they were advised, do some guilt offering. And they asked, what guilt offering? What should we offer? And they were told to offer 5 gold tumors that belonged to the Philistines' gods, and rats, and gold rats, as much as the number of the cities in the Philistines. Yeah, so I don't know the meaning of that, but after that the Ark of the Covenant went to what place was that again? Let me check. Beth Shemesh. Yes, and the Bible states that in Beth Shemesh there were people who were harvesting wheat, and when they saw the Ark of the Covenant, they rejoiced and praised. And then after that, still there were, people how people are. There are some people who are curious. There are these guys, 70 of them, as the Bible is stating, 70 of them, they went looking into the Ark of the Covenant, which of course was against what God had told Israelites to do. And guess what happened? They were just put into death. And when they were put to death, of course the people mourned. And after that, I think these people of Beth Shemesh saw that enough is enough. If this Ark of the Covenant stay here, it might end up killing the whole village. So they called they sent messengers to the people of Kiriath Jearim, saying, the Philistines have returned the Ark of the Lord. Come down and take it up to your town. And of course it was picked and it was taken to their town. So I think one thing that I was seeing from this is just chapter 6. One thing that was very pronounced is that God, of course, is a loving Father, and of course He has given us. Of course, He had given Israelites rules, guidelines on how they were to handle the Ark of the Covenant, and it was so clear that it's the priests who were to handle it, and the way offerings were to be made and everything of the sort. And of course, as we can see, God is not a jumbled, he doesn't operate in a jumbled up kind of a way. He has a systematic way that he does things somehow. And there's a motaratara, for lack of maybe a better word. And as Christians, the Word of God enlightens us on specific ways that we can interact with God and how He operates. So we should embrace them, and we should not think that maybe the Bible hapa imekosea, or the Bible here maybe here, like I think this would have been a better way of doing things than the Bible states. No, you are going to have consequences. So just follow the word of God as it is. Because just as I was saying that the word of God is a light to our feet. So just don't think of improving the Bible. It's not old-fashioned, like from generation to generation, it is word, it is fresh, it is never outdated. So that was just chapter 6, and I think verse 7, I was just meditating about Samuel and thinking through the journey of Samuel. Samuel from his call when he was spending his time in the temple, and God called him 3 times. If you read your CRE, I know you remember that story where Samuel was called thrice, and Samuel thought it was Eli who was calling him, and Eli was like, "No, young boy, I didn't call you. Go back and sleep." And the second time when Samuel went, and God told him, and Eli told him, Eli was the priest who was serving in the temple, told him, "No, boy, I didn't call him." The third time it happened, and the boy went. And I think at this point, the priest discovered that this boy is being called by God. And he told the boy, "When you hear his voice again, say, 'Yes, your servant is here, may you speak.'" And God spoke. So I think the journey of Samuel is just one interesting one. He was a judge, as the Bible states. Now, as he was growing old, of course, he appointed his sons to become kings. No, to become leaders. Yeah, verse 8 says, "When Samuel grew old, he appointed his sons as Israel's leaders. The name of the firstborn was Joel, the second one was Abijah." But now, these sons did not follow God's way. They did not follow Samuel's ways. Samuel's ways, of course, Samuel was a judge, a dedicated priest who would listen to the word of God, and he would do as God had instructed him. But here you can see the sons, the 2 sons, they did not follow that. That means they were after dishonest gains, and accepted bribes and perverted justice. In the current world, there are many temptations. Sometimes you find yourself, maybe as a pastor, as a leader, as a Christian. All Christians are leaders. You should preach the word of God and ensure that people are receiving the gospel. Your work is to preach the word of God, but it's God, of course, who transforms people's lives. So, but sometimes you find as Christian, you find temptation, you might engage in dishonest gains, and sometimes you might accept bribes. Yeah, you might accept bribes, because sometimes the deal seems to be good, and when those deals are coming, you are in a place where you are rather broke. You're broke somehow. You get what I'm saying? You find that you're broke, like between you and poverty is just 1 centimeter. Like your pockets are so large, but they're so say their pockets are torn, yeah. And between you and the bank, there's nothing. Even the maintenance fee of your account, if the bank was to, back tracing it, you could be owing the bank because it's maintaining your account at a fee, and there's nothing in your account. And then a deal comes, and then you weigh, you say, if I do this, I'm going to get this money, and I need this money. But right now I'm broke, and it's you weigh, and then you know what happens next. So I think it's so clear from the word of God that having dishonest gains, you lie so that you can gain. Dishonest gains, you lie so that you can gain. I don't know whether you've ever found yourself there. And then accepting bribes. like someone maybe there's a time I was working in specific industries, and bribes were circulating too much, and somehow you don't know, but you find yourself in a fix. Not in a fix, you refuse, but now the company, maybe your manager or someone now does it on your behalf, and you're like, no, these things no, I cannot continue doing this. It's rather I just step down and let it go and trust God for something else. You know what I'm saying? And of course of perverting justice. Yeah, and I think that was just a highlight. It is just so pronounced because, of course, in this world, temptation, those are the day-to-day temptations as Christians that we encounter. And you have to keep on reminding yourself, no, God does not allow this. No, I am a Christian. No, I can't do this. No, even if I sleep hungry, it's okay, but I'm not going to accept a bribe. I'm not going to bribe. If you find yourself in a wrong way, maybe you're driving and there's this policeman who maybe is just trying to find mistake, the way they are, and they ask you for some bribe. Maybe they find a fault in your call, something, they ask you for bribe. Say no. Even if you might go to prison, of course you will, but say no. It's better you go to prison, but you stand for what you believe, stand for what the Bible states, be right with God. Yeah, amen. Okay. Yeah, so I think now the Israelites complained about the sons of Samuel. Said, man, Samuel, you've been a good man. Your sons have let you down. They are engaging in a lot of things and we are not happy. Why don't you appoint for us a king? And at this point, Samuel wasn't happy. Like when you're used to something, you just want it to be passed down. Nobody loves change. When new things comes, they disturb everybody. Like adopting to these new things you don't want to. Like it's just like this kind of transition from analog to digital. Like where you're no longer dealing with manual work. You just need to feed things in your computer and stuff. It's not an easy transition. So also Samuel struggled with it until now he had to take it to God and ask God, now see these guys, they are asking for a king, and it has not been like that. And I think Samuel was very displeased, but God told him, listen to what the people want. And I'm like, hey, God, kwani God is a dynamic God. Wait, let me listen. And I think God was just encouraging Samuel. It's not you they have rejected. It is me they have rejected. It is me they have rejected. And then I think God just shed light of what is going to happen when a king, of course, comes down. But of course, there are a lot of things that are written there. Like, of course, things like oppression, what the king will do, he'll take a tenth of your flocks. You yourselves will become slaves. You will cry out for a reward from your king you've chosen, but the Lord will not answer you. There are such kind of things that you can be told and have a second thought. Now, when someone listed all these things, even he told them that the king will take your daughters to be perfumers and cooks and bakers. When you have a daughter, if you have a baby or a son or whatever kid you have, and you hear that your son or your daughter will be taken in as a perfumer, as a cook, as a baker, you don't feel very good, because everybody is looking out for a better future for your son. You want your son to be in a good position of saying. You want your son to be a leader. You want your daughter to be, Well, I don't have a daughter, so I just have sons. So I'm just talking out what I would like my sons to be. But of course, you want your daughters to be leaders. You want your daughters to worship God. You want your daughters to be free. You say nice things, for your daughters. But here there's a person now, God now even has given you. Yeah, is it a preview of what is going to happen after a king comes in? But now the people, even after being given this preview, it was just like ni kazi ya kuosha kuku miguu, like when you wash the chicken, the feet of the chicken are just going to go outside and go back to the same mud that you washed their feet from. So like ilikuwa kazi bure, Hey. Anyway, so the people insisted that they still want a king. They said, verse 19 says, but the people refused to listen to Samuel. No, they said, we want a king over us. And of course, God granted them a king, as you're going to see, in the coming chapters. And sometimes this is very sad. I'm just reflecting in my own life. Sometimes there are some things that God tells me, and He tells me, Christine, not this way. If we go this way, 1, 2, 3 things are going to happen. But who is Christine? I insist. Tina, huyo, I insist. I want still to do them that way. And after these things have happened, it's when I recall, oh my goodness, I wish I listened to the voice of God. These things could not have happened. And I don't know what God has spoken to you today. I don't know what He has been telling you. And maybe you've just been stubborn, like these Israelites. Of course, we know how these kings messed their lives. You all know. And if you don't know, we are going to see, maybe I'm going to be sharing my devotion maybe from now. You'll be seeing how they'll get messed up. So yeah, anyway, that was my devotion. I just wanted to share that. So I'll be meditating through that through the day. So let me do cleaning.